and then we can just get it started. Right, there we go. We started recording, guys. How are we doing? Thanks a lot for joining. For the guys that are on the call currently, and also for the guys that are watching on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, just gonna quickly do the mute now, just so we don't disturb each other. Okay, so today, what we're going to discuss today is coming from a few conversations and the requests that were sent across from you guys on things that you wanted us to sort of speak about. But instead of having like one topic and just going through it like we were doing in the past couple of weeks, we're still going to continue doing that because we found it very effective. Today, we just want to open it to be a bit of a Q&A. So question and answer for anyone who's got any specific questions that they want to get rectified and clarified. And I'm glad we've got some experienced people who have joined today, so I don't have to answer anything. So any questions that you guys might have. So what I think we should do, just to avoid having a bit of jump in, jump out, if you can raise your hand, or if you can just drop the question on the chat box, and then we can give you a chance to sort of ask exactly what you want to ask, and I'll redirect to the to someone who can actually answer that question. However, before we start that, just a couple of things I wanted to mention. So for the guys that are watching, if it's your first time, we've got a, this is the Zimbabwean or the Zim Property Investors group. We've got a platform on Facebook that you can come and join. Everything is free. You just come and listen into all the value that's being added by the people. So Zim Investors are predominantly Zimbabweans in this community. However, it's not exclusive to just Zimbabweans. We are all interested in property, and we just happen to be Zimbabweans. But if you're not Zimbabwean, it doesn't mean you can't join us. So feel free to come and join. So the whole reason behind this community, so we can all help each other in networking, in resources, in knowledge. There's people that are very seasoned investors that can help in anything that you may need from start to finish. There's people who are starting out from scratch, asking some really relevant questions. And there's people who are looking for funds to fund their deals, and there's people looking for deals to get started. We all help each other in this community, and we're looking for this community to grow as much as possible. So if you want to be part of it, feel free to reach out, join our group on Facebook, or just reach out to us on the contact details that are at the description of this video. So thank you in advance for those people who do actually reach out. So today, there's a concept of speaking to agents. So that's one of the most common questions I've been having in the past week. Speaking to agents in terms of how do we get to do that? What is it that we need to say? At what point do we speak to them? How are we supposed to dress up and stuff like that? There's also a question on co-sourcing and a question on joint venture opportunities. So those are the sort of like topics that we're going to touch on today, on top of any of the questions that anyone is going to ask on the call. Okay, so I've got a hand that's been raised now. I'm just going to go and ask Diniwe to ask a question. But just to clarify, if any of you guys, especially on the call, are able to go on the platform on Facebook or any other platform that you have access to, please share information about this community so we can have more and more people come in and get the assistance that they may need, and also just to spread the word as much as possible. So I'm just gonna ask Diniwe to unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Thank you, Mose.
No
I think I'll be in and out of the meeting. That's why I raised my hand first.
No worries.
The other question is about how to talk to the agency. You've mentioned it already. The other question is for you, Mozi. I just wanted to check the properties that you post on platforms when you're doing major renovations to them. Are they rent properties or they are bought properties?
Oh, okay. So you're talking about the properties that I post on Facebook, the ones that have renovations on, yeah?
Yeah, they look like they have major renovations, and I think you talk about inspection, steps by steps to inspection. So I was just wondering whether they are you'll be renting them from a landlord or you would have bought them.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's just one property. Okay,
Okay.
that's one property that I just keep updating on every step that we go through, and that is a purchased property. It's not on a rent to rent. So
Okay.
that is one of the purchased properties. I think if you remember last time we discussed about rent to rent, is you want to limit your expenditure for a rent to rent as much as possible.
Yeah, that's why I thought I should check with, sorry to interrupt. That's why I thought I should check to you, because when you posted that property, it was clear that it was a major job. And I'm thinking, that's massive. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't want to be doing that for a rent to rent. So the backstory behind this property that you're speaking about, we purchased it below market value. And the plan is to add value to the property by doing anything that we can, i.e. this point, we're actually putting an extension in to put our bathroom downstairs. It's a 2-bedroom house that just has a shower, no bathroom. So we're renovating the inside of the house and also extending the property and putting in a bathroom with the intention to increase the value and then remortgage and potentially pull the funds back out. That's the plan for that property. So it's a purchased one, not a rental.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you very much for your question. We're going to touch on the speaking with agents part as part of this call anyway. So just hold on to that one. And if you have to dash out and leave the call, you can catch up on the video when it gets posted on YouTube. Okay.
Thank
no
you
problem.
very much.
No worries. I've got Tabo who's raised his hand. Feel free to unmute, brother.
Hey, Muzi. No, I was gonna ask, where are you posting this property? Because we haven't seen it.
Tabo, of all people, you should know where to find my stuff.
Can you diversify your posting as well so we can see?
I know if it's not on LinkedIn or on Instagram, you're never gonna see it. But yes, predominantly it's on Facebook, and I've been posting at least once every 3 days on the Zim Property Investors Facebook page. I'm still settling into Instagram, Tabo, so I have actually posted a couple of videos on what they call IGTV. And and if you go on my profile, you might actually see a couple of them.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I am trying to diversify, bro.
Okay, no worries, mate. Cheers.
Thanks. Okay, we've got Feli who's just joined us. Thanks for joining, Feli.
Thanks for having me, Mozi.
No worries, no worries. Okay, has anyone got any other questions at the minute before we move on to the topics that we had mentioned before? Okay, brilliant. Okay, so during the week, I was speaking to a couple of people who were asking questions. These were generated mainly from the call that we had the previous week. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, please have a look at it. We were talking about rent to rent, and the parts that we were discussing on the questions that were generated was on how to find them, where to find them, and what do you need to be able to find them? And one of the ways that you can find a good rent-to-rent deal is through an agent. Okay, so a lot of times people will say, well, why would I go to an agent if I'm going to be paying the agent who will then pay the landlord? Why don't I cut the agent out and just deal directly with the landlord? Which is a very valid point, but that's a valid point only if you're looking for maybe one deal. If you're looking for one deal and you're just going to be living on the one deal for the rest of your life, then you don't need an agent. Just deal with the landlord, because on a one deal, yes, you're going to be fine. However, the power of the agent is the access to the amount of properties that they have in their portfolio or in their database, so to speak. They've got a large database of landlords. So imagine if you take on the one deal, which might not be the greatest with a landlord, with an agent. However, you stay sweet with this agent, they will then give you access to all these other landlords. So if you're looking to have a huge portfolio of rent-to-rents, you work with an agent. You work with an agent for that one deal, even if it's not the greatest. If that works very well, believe it or not, the agents will start actually firing deals at you, so you won't have to be looking for them anymore. So when it comes to speaking with agents, there's sort of like quite a few people that seem to have the sort of like the thought that agents are like really high up. They really know everything about property and investing. So before you speak to them, you need to really know what you're talking about. And from experience, and some of the people that have actually done this before as well, you will know that that's not necessarily the case. So agents, essentially employees, they follow processes, and these processes are based on just what they need to know, and they are just following a script. So some of the strategies that we discuss, the creative strategies we talk about, are quite alien to agents, even though they're actually property related. Some of their strategies and the terminologies that we use now are quite alien to agents. So you could go and speak to them about them, and some agents will be like, well, what are you talking about? You mentioned a corporate let or a company let. With some agents, even rent to rent itself is new to them. They don't know what you're talking about. Serviced accommodation is actually fairly new, even though we've been talking about it for years. It's fairly new to some people, including agents. So my advice to many people that start speaking to agents is do not belittle yourself, even if you're starting out from scratch. Do not make it seem like an agent is far up in terms of knowledge and you're really down there, because they will sense it when you start talking to them, and then it will just generate more and more questions from them. What you're looking for is just the basic stuff that suits your strategy. So if we're talking rent to rent and you're looking for a rent to rent property for HMO in a certain area, you go in to ask about that certain area. You're looking for a property or a landlord who's open to a corporate let or a company let. They will ask you what that is if they don't know already, and you will explain to them that we're not looking to take on the property to live in it. You're looking to take on the property to manage it. And at that point, the agent might probably ask, so if you're going to manage the property, what are we going to do? And that's the beauty of it. The agent doesn't have to do anything and they still get paid. So you're taking on the property, you're managing the property yourself, you're going to be doing the minor maintenance, you're going to be covering the rent on a guaranteed basis, whatever it is that you agree, and you'll take on the property and the agent doesn't actually have to do anything but pass the money from you to them and from them to the landlord if they still want to stay in the deal, or they can get paid upfront a huge lump sum just to take them out of the deal. But as long as the agent gets paid and they see the benefit of working with you, they will start bringing the deals to you. So an agent is not a property expert. So you need to remember that an agent is not a property expert in the way that we look at property expertise in terms of investing. They don't understand the majority of these strategies that we talk about. All they want is someone to live in the property and pay rent, and someone to buy the property, and someone wants to sell a property, full stop. So these creative strategies of being able to raise funds, no money down, being able to run things on service accommodation, those are fairly new to property agents. So when you go into an agent, just remember you're speaking to another human being on the other side of the desk who's just doing their job. They're not superior to you. And that's what seems to be the concept that a lot of people have, that because agents deal with property every single day, they know everything, and that's not the case. Okay. Now, I will stop on there in terms of speaking to agents, so I can allow anyone on here who has any questions about what we've just talked about, and we can go a little bit further into it. So has anyone got any questions?
I've got one, Muzi.
Yes,
Okay.
Emmanuel.
Okay, I'm near my destination. Okay, right. So basically, this might go on a bit of a tangent, but if you're going to be sourcing a property, and then you're going to liaise with an agent, and well, why should I come to you rather than just going straight to the agent? Yeah, how would you answer that one?
Sorry, there's a bit where the line broke off, so I didn't hear the full question.
Okay. So if you're sourcing a property, right, for an investor, so let's say an HMO or a buy to let or a flip, right? If they then ask the question, well, what's the benefit of me coming, through you to source a property for me? Why can't I just go direct to the estate agent or the vendor? How do we answer that?
So who's asking this question? The investor?
Yes, the investor, yeah.
Got ya. Okay. So there's a couple of reasons. And there's a lot more than the ones that I'm going to talk about here.
Okay.
One of them is what I've already spoken about, that agents are not necessarily property experts. So as you have already experienced, because I know you've spoken to a few investors,
Yeah.
some investors are looking for a deal that is packaged with a calculation of return on investments, a calculation of your yield, and more information about the area and where the capital appreciation is going to be. With that package, estate agents are not going to do that. Estate agent is just going to tell you this property is costing this amount. The landlord or the vendor is looking for this amount. We could potentially push it to this amount, but then majority of all of the other bits and bobs that you can add in as a property sourcer are not there. And because as a sourcer, you understand these creative strategies, you can also add that information into your package to make the deal look a little bit more sweet for the investor.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one part of it. The other part is as a deal sourcer, you've got your own reputation of actually understanding a lot more than what an agent would understand. You also have a network of other investors and also other agents. So an agent has got a network of landlords and vendors. You've got a network of agents and also of investors. So an investor working with the sourcer, it's not just about that one deal. Essentially, they could actually get a lot more from you than they can with an agent. An agent is also locked in that one area. You are quite mobile. You could use your skill set and actually buy and sell deals from somewhere else. So as an investor, I would rather work with the sourcer because they can do all of that work for me.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I'm just thinking, Tabo, is there anything else that you could add to this? Because I think you're quite experienced in that field.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I was listening, and I think you covered a lot of points there, which I agree with. Like you said, to be honest, like agents, 9 times out of 10, they don't have the right information which the property investors want. You know, so it's like it's also an education piece to them. So yeah, no, that's all I can add on that.
Awesome, awesome. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Thank you.
Denua had her hand risen, but I think she's actually left the call now. We might have missed her. Okay. All right. Has anyone else got any questions on speaking to an agent? Anyone who's struggled with speaking to an agent or anything else that they might want to know about it? Okay. So final points that I can add on to speaking to an agent, to those who might be nervous about it. It's good practice to say if you're looking for a property in a certain area. So for example, if you're looking for a property in Northampton, and that's where you want to start investing, and you want to speak to agents, and you're worried about messing it up, you're worried about saying the wrong things and having a bad rep at the start, I would recommend you speak to at least 10 agents away from your area. So go to Milton Keynes, move away, go to Daventry or Rugby, and speak to 10 agents and get comfortable speaking to agents. And once you have that confidence and a bit more knowledge on what to say, you can then come back to the area that you actually want to invest in. And that reduces the chances of being able of messing it up in your own area. Deniwa has come back. Deniwa, I think you had a question, didn't you?
To add to what you were saying, as I said during the week, I texted you, I spoke to one of the agencies following your advice to speak to an agency that is out of area as a way of practicing. So their first impression, I think, because of me speaking to the agents for the first time, they thought maybe I'm talking of subletting. And then I said to them, no, it's not subletting. I explained exactly what I'm looking for. And their next question was, do you have a company? Because we don't deal with individuals or a group of people or friends. So I said, yes, I do. And they said, yes, if you have a company, and then you wish us to get you some properties, you can get back to us as soon as you have everything put together. So I didn't want to go any further because I think they would have maybe noted that this person is not confident in what they are saying. So I stopped there.
So you stopped at that point. You didn't continue the conversation.
No. I thought maybe they were going to pick, they were going to sort of like, come up with some form of, they were okay, they were fine. They said, then if you have a company, we can get you some properties. And I just said, oh, thank you very much. What's your name? For continuity, I would like to talk to you again. And then he gave me his name and surname and the days he works. And then I left it there.
Okay, so firstly, well done. Well done. That is absolutely brilliant. So the fact that you've actually spoken to someone, spoken to an agent, that's where everyone has that dread. So you've spoken to them. It doesn't matter exactly what you then say. In everything that happens, you learn something. So well done. And the fact that they're open to working with you as well, that's an even bigger bonus. So well done for that one, Deniwa. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So on the points, there's 2 points that you mentioned. One is about the company, and as I did mention, yes, you will need a company, ideally, because you're looking to run a company let or a corporate let, which means you're going to be managing the property as a company, not you living in it, and you wouldn't be able to do it in your own name. Okay, so you do need a company. However, don't let it, and I know I've already spoken to you in particular, this is sort of like a generalized thing, because quite a lot of people will say, I need to set up my company, I need to get my business card, I need to get my website, I need to do all of that before you even speak to an agent, before you set up a viewing, before you made any offers. So what's more important is viewings and offers. Go speak to agents, set up viewings, get all that done. Wait for them to tell you what it is that you need. You can set all of that up as you're going along. Creating a company is a couple of days thing. It doesn't actually take that long. So, so well done for you actually going to speak to agents anyway, even if you hadn't actually set everything up. So you need a company, but then it's not what you need first before speaking to an agent. Speak to agents, go for viewings, make offers, get that experience of being able to speak to people who are in the property industry. That's what's more important than the websites and the business cards and all that. We call that lining up your ducks. You don't need that. You need the experience with speaking to agents. You need the experience in going to viewings, the deal calculations, and understanding your area. That's what's more important. So well done for doing that, Dinua. And if you need any further assistance, feel free to get in touch.
Okay, so in terms of viewing property, actually I spoke to 2 agencies, but the first one, they just asked me if I had some properties I've seen on their website. And I told them, yes, I did, and I had the addresses. And they said, no, they're both gone. Unless you have some properties that you have seen, we cannot talk to you. Just wait until we get some more properties similar to that, then we'll take it from there. So they didn't want to entertain me unless I have some properties I've seen on their website. So the conversation was very, very short.
Yeah. You will find that. You will find that a few times. So I'm gonna try to show this on the video. So if you can see that, usually agents are set up this way in the office. So when you walk in, so if you imagine this is the front door, you'll find people that are sat at the front here and some that are sat here.
Yeah.
This person at the back here is the manager. Yeah. Rightfully or wrongfully, we call these people at the front T-boys. However, they're the ones that you need to speak to. So usually when you speak to these guys, they don't care whether you actually get a deal or not, because they just get paid. Okay. The one who's right at the back, who's the manager, is the one who will ask you even more questions. So the experience that you've just told me now, where someone said, wait until you find something on our website, it sounds like you're talking to the T-boy. Because the manager or someone who cares a little bit more would have been asking you more questions about what exactly are you looking for, and we can actually start tailor finding them for you. Yeah. So don't worry too much whenever you get that bit of rejection. It's worth actually contacting them again. Tabo, again, he's got quite a lot of experience speaking to agents, and I'm pretty sure he'll have something to add to this. Tabo,
thank you very much.
Unmute, please.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so that's a good setup. So what I usually do, if they're not taking you serious, just speak louder, so the other manager hears you, and like they can actually come to you, you know. So because the T-boys, like, their main aim of the job is to distract you, to tell you, oh, go check the website. But if you want to get the manager's attention, just try to speak louder. Sometimes the manager will come and help you themselves.
That's a good shout. Speak louder so the manager can hear you, and then they will actually invite you over.
Yeah, and to like you said last time, it's a perception, you know. So if you enter a room, it's like, you know, we're humans. Like everyone judges people, no matter what. You can judge someone to say, if someone walks in, you're like, oh, nah, that one is broke, or that one, you know what I mean? So even them, when you walk into an estate agent, they're likely judging you, or even playing games between them to say, nah, this one, I'm not married, or whatever. So if you come in there and, you know, like, you present yourself like someone who's doing big deals, You know, like even if you're looking for a small deal, but just always present yourself as someone who's doing something big, because everything in life is a perception. You know, so they'll take you seriously and they want to speak to you.
That is absolute gold. That is absolutely. And just to add on that as well, as part of creating that perception, we usually say you go in as part of a huge organization. So even if you're working on your own, you say we in everything. So we do this, we work with companies, we take on properties, and it gives the impression that you're actually working with a huge team. And when they ask questions like, how are you purchasing, for example? Is it by cash or is it by mortgage? And you say, we do either. We can purchase cash, we can purchase by mortgage, dependent on the property. So it's creating that perception, just like what Tavos just said. It's absolutely vital. Because yes, we all do actually just judge a person before we even speak to them. Just looking at them, we'll make our minds up until they open their mouths. So thank you very much, Tavo, and thanks to Neil for the question.
Thank you both. Thank you.
No worries. Brian.
Hey, I'm here, guys. Good evening. Good evening, yo. You okay?
How you doing, brother? You good?
Very well, thank you. Just a quick minute on the issue of that's just been discussed regarding, I don't know whether to say it's being prejudiced or, you know, trying to judge people as they walk in. But I just like to add that sometimes it may not be entirely down to the fact that they are judging you, but it's just a way of trying to get you to engage with their company. Do you understand? Every business has got a way of communicating with its potential customers. So you may have to look at it from this point of view, where they are trying to get you to engage with their company in terms of, you know, what they're doing, what properties they have, before they can actually attend to. Yes, there's a slight judgment, you know, there's this, you know, prejudice feeling about, you know, maybe, you know, you may not have enough money, etc., etc. But it's I think it's important to look at it from a more positive perspective, to say they are just trying to get you to engage with their business, with their company, and say, you know what, go away, have a look, and come back and speak to us. It is bad, it is good. You got to look at, you know, the pros and cons of it. But I think Isusu Sevanu, we probably will just take it from a more superficial point of view. You know, they're probably just being, you know, prejudiced to me, and no matter whatever the case might be. But I think if you really look at it, it's just a way for the company to try and to get you to engage in their products, have a look at their products before they can, you know, sort of attend to you. As I said, yes, it is bad, but it is good in another way. But you just got to look at it from a good from a good point of view. You just got to look at it from a good point of view. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. I hear where you're coming from. I hear where you're coming from on that one.
And it's just like, for example, you know, if say you've got a website or something, you know, or say you've got and the guy should go, yeah, let's say a YouTube channel, you are prompted, you know, either business or personal pages will say subscribe to our, you know, to our page, so that you can get more information or whatever the case might be. So it's all business intelligence if you really look at it. It's just playing with your minds, but it's in their best interest as much as it is in yours at the same time.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
All right.
I hear where you're
Anyway, that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Cheers.
I have no idea how I missed this. Sorry, Dahlia. Sorry, I didn't say hi to you from the start. My apologies. Dahlia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
My bad, my bad.
No problem. Hi, everyone.
How are you? You okay?
Good, thanks. How's everyone?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's interesting topic, actually. Thank you for going through this. It's an important thing to actually think through. So thank you.
No worries, no worries. If you've got any questions, feel free to fire away.
I will do.
Okay, so that's that part about speaking to agents. If you guys got any other questions, feel free to fire them away. Just gonna touch on the next part. I'm gonna put them together actually, and not actually just sort of talk about them separately. Co-sourcing and joint ventures. Okay. Now this was brought up in particular about this network. So the Zim Property Investors in terms of co-sourcing and joint ventures. Now, I know some of you guys find deals and you send them directly to me, or you've got some funds and you want to get started and you call me directly and let me know what it is that you've got and what you're looking for, which is fine. I'm not going to stop anyone from bringing opportunities to me. However, because I've spoken to different people, I then start connecting you guys. However, in the platform that we've got, whatever it is that you're looking for, that's what the platform is there for. Feel free to just tell people that I'm looking for this deal in this area, and if anyone can help me, please get in touch. So the co-sourcing part is mainly because there's quite a few guys on the group and outside the group, to be fair, in my networks, where you find deals in an area that you're not necessarily interested in, or you find deals that you don't particularly want to take on. And instead of just letting go of them, you can actually work with someone and monetize that deal, even if you don't actually want it. So someone in the group actually highlighted this recently in terms of being able to co-source, which means you find the deal and you work with someone who either wants the deal or who can actually find someone who wants the deal. You sell that deal together and you split profits. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for anyone who wants to get involved in that type of strategy, which can actually generate some serious money from nothing, essentially. So out of all of the strategies in property, deal sourcing is the one that needs the least amount of money, because you need to get yourself, you just need to get yourself compliant. Once you get the compliance and pay for that, everything else that you manage to sell is just the expenditure of being able to move up and down for viewings and stuff like that. But if you're going to be co-sourcing, you can co-source with someone who's already compliant and you just find the deals. And that way you don't actually have to pay for anything. Now, if we can do that, I mean, thousands of people that I know are already doing that anyway. If you can do that in our network, it makes it even better, because in our network, we've got people that are finding deals. We've got people that are looking for deals. We've got people who have funds and not sure where to put them and how to invest. And we've got people who have deals that they're just waiting for funds for, not necessarily to sell them. Now, it's all within this group. And I just wanted to point that out. It's all within this group, where you can actually just reach out to people that have those funds and just put out and say, I've got this deal. I need X amount of money. This is how much money I can actually make out of it, or we can make out of it. I just need X amount. And you can either work on interest, or you can work on being in the deal together and sharing profits and stuff like that. So that's the bit that I wanted to touch on. That opportunity is available in our group. And if you are any one of those people who are in that position, feel free to reach out in the group. You can say it in the Facebook group or in the WhatsApp group, or you can still contact me and I can connect you with the right people. However, it will be good to actually start seeing more engagement in terms of specific deals that people are looking to start taking part in. So that's the bit I wanted to raise about co-sourcing and joint venturing. Don't know if anyone's got any questions about that in particular.
Do you have to be registered to co-source and all that kind of stuff? Do you have to be registered?
if you're going to be selling a deal to someone, whoever is doing the selling needs to be compliant. So in terms of co-sourcing, when I say co-sourcing, I'm looking at it in the aspect of, Tabo, you're the one who has the company that is fully registered to be able to deal source. However, you don't particularly have a deal to sell right now. I haven't been registered. I'm not compliant whatsoever, but I've got a deal. I've been speaking to agents. I've got a potential deal, but I can't sell it because I'm not compliant. So I then come to Tabo and say, look, I've got this deal. I can't sell it. You're compliant. Can you sell it for me? So you do your due diligence. You look through the deal. You think it's a deal that's sellable. You find an investor, sell the deal for $3,000, and you take 1.5 because it's your company. I take 1.5 because it's my deal. That's the co-sourcing that I mean. And in terms of that, in that process, I don't need to be registered anywhere now.
Okay. Thank you.
We've got a raised hand. Mugo.
Hey, right. So I just wanted to make a quick point. I think you mentioned joint venture and stuff. Obviously, there's also regulation around joint ventures, or like, trying to, well, advertise for joint ventures, really. So I know, like a funding, you can do that. You can sort of advertise it on a public group or forum. But when looking for joint ventures, I think it's a bit tricky, the way it's regulated. Yeah. So again, yeah, just wanted to make that point, really.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, you're absolutely right. In anything and everything that we do, as long as there's money involved, we just need to make sure we're doing everything correctly. And I think when we get to that point where there's an opportunity to join venture, the relevant questions need to be asked, and and everything needs to be set up correctly. The right contracts will need to be signed, and however, you are absolutely right. There's regulations with all of these things, especially with property, because the money that gets exchanged is huge amount of money. So we just need to make sure we're doing things correctly. So if any of you guys get to that point where you're ready to joint venture, you're ready to co-source, you're ready to do anything in terms of property, please make sure you're asking the right questions and getting things done correctly. It will be an absolute shame if anyone is picked up not knowingly doing something wrong and losing quite a lot of money. So thank you for pointing that out, Mugo. Much appreciated, bro. Okay. Has anyone else got any questions or anything to add about the co-sourcing element and the joint venture opportunities? Superb. Okay, the last bit of a discussion that I wanted to throw in, and we can just open it to any other questions after that, is growing our network. So this is sort of a plea that I wanted to go through with the guys that are on the call and anyone who might be listening to this on our channel. We're looking to spread the word about our network, the Zim Property Investors, and we are predominantly in the UK, and it's growing quite rapidly within the UK, but it's still reaching out pretty much worldwide. Anyone who is interested in property, and we know that laws and regulations are different in different countries, but the concepts and the theories are the same. So we've been sharing information about our journeys, and it's been helpful to people outside the country as well. What I just wanted to ask the people that are watching and the people that are on the call, please share our group, share our network, and just reach out to as many people as possible who may be interested in property. because the larger the group is, the more beneficial it's going to be for everyone, because every person that joins comes with an opportunity, whether it's an opportunity for us to add value to their lives, or it's an opportunity for them to add value to ours. It's an opportunity as a deal, it's an opportunity as funds, an opportunity in any aspect that we can think of. But the more people that are in that network, the better it will be for all of us. So please, if you need the link to the website, the link to our group on Facebook, I will put it on the description at the bottom for anyone who's watching on YouTube. If you're on the call now and you don't have the link, reach out to me. I'll get that sent to you. And it will be good to see even more people join our group. So we're currently now on 648 members that are on Facebook, but there are some people who are on WhatsApp but not on Facebook. So the group is growing, considering it's a group that's only a couple of months old. I can only be grateful for that. We as the ZPI management, we're really, really grateful for all the growth that we're seeing, the engagement we're seeing from different people, and the deals that are taking place in the group. It's just fascinating. So thank you very much. And we look forward to this group actually growing even further. So if anyone else has got any other questions on what we've already discussed, feel free to ask. Is there no questions at all? Even Celinda hasn't got any questions. This is usually where you drop a question, Celinda.
No, I don't have any questions.
No problem, no problem. Okay, yay, we've got a question. We've got a question.
It's not a question, it's just a compliment.
Oh.
I
Yes,
just wanted
Belly.
to say you've been so clear, mostly. That's why we don't have any questions.
Thank you very much, Belly. But I think Dahlia is about to ruin that comment.
Oh, wow, Dahlia, you go ahead and ask your question. Don't let me put
I'm
you
only
off.
joking. I'm only joking.
No, I think you still have been clear. This is just an aside tangent question, so I still support that previous comment. I wanted to find out about people who aren't Zimbabweans who are thinking about properties. Are there any kind of groups that you can kind of forward to them as well? Because obviously they might not be able, they can't join our group. So I just wanted to ask that.
Okay. So firstly, yes, they can. They can join our group. So the Zim Property Investors doesn't actually limit to Zimbabwe. It just happens to be our identity, essentially. It doesn't mean if you're not Zimbabwean, you can't join. So there are actually a couple of people in our group, a few actually, who are not Zimbabweans. We've got English people, we've got people from India and Pakistan who have joined our group on Facebook especially. And essentially, the Zimbabwean part of it just makes it our identity. It doesn't limit. It's not like we're discussing just Zimbabwe and Zimbabwean investing. It's just property investors, and it's discussed by people who happen to be Zimbabwean. So feel free to bring them to our group. However, we are also involved in plenty other networks that discuss pretty much the same stuff. So I'm happy to share those groups as well if you want to get in touch with me in private. However, if you know anyone who's interested in property, even if they're not Zimbabwean, and I have a feeling I know who you're talking about, feel free to bring them to the group. We would happily have them here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clearing that up, actually. So it's not that obvious. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. My apologies. I think as soon as we just made it Zim, it just seemed like it's just restricted for Zimbabweans. No, it's not.
Thank you.
I now have a question. Which
Hey, surprise, surprise.
It's just a general kind of just something that I thought of. And I think I had sent you a message about it. Just wanted to know if there are any people in the group that also invest in Zim, like people that are investing in property in Zim as well, just generally, not in detail of what they're doing, but just to know if there are people that are also investing back home.
Yes, yes. The answer to that question is yes. We do have people in our group. I think for the same reason that Dahlia touched on, a lot of people, because we called it the Zim Property Investors, a lot of people joined because they believed it was to do with investing in property in Zimbabwe. And it is also for that as well. It's not limited to just England. We just happen to be in the UK. But there are people that have joined the group specifically for that, and they're actually doing it. And there's people like myself who only investing in the UK, but also interested in investments in Zimbabwe as well. So if there's anything that you are in particular looking to do in Zimbabwe, feel free to get in touch. I'll put you in touch with people that are doing that, and they can help you out with it.
Okay. Well, it's more of like a long term, but I just wanted to find out like if it's worth even looking at, considering.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could actually give you more detail on it. I'm just interested, but I'm not doing it. So I can't give you too much detail, but I can put you in touch with someone who's doing it. And they've told me that it's quite beneficial. It's something that's working really well for them in the strategy that they're running. And I was genuinely shocked because of what I thought was happening in the area, but it seems to be working. So I can put you in touch with them and you can have a further discussion and see how you guys can help each other.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I've got a question. Is there anyone whose hand is up?
Not at the minute. Go ahead, Daniela.
While you are talking about the investing in Zimbabwe, I just want to pose a question. I have someone who's got maybe about 2 properties and they're struggling to manage them while they are here. So if you know anyone who can maybe do rent to rent or rent to SA, please let me know so that I can connect you to her.
Yes, Celinda is looking to do rent to rent in Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, so you can get my number. Are you on WhatsApp group, Celinda?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, my name is Deniwa. You can inbox me and then I can give you the details of that lady.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You see, this is what I mean. Just the beauty of this. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much, Deniwa. Thank you very much, Celinda. And this is what the group is about. And I'm just glad it's actually come up and happened on camera for everyone to actually see. This is just a portion of what happens in our network. Just beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, we've got another raised hand. It's our brother Brian.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so speaking on the subject of investing in Zimbabwe and in the UK, I think initially when we created this whole group, we had the intentions to diversify the whole objective of the group. So we did not intend to just confine investment in the UK, but because we are of a Zimbabwean origin, you know, there's bound to be other people that have interests back home or in any other country, for example, South Africa. So just for, I know it's been touched on already, but just wanted to reiterate on that point that, you know, it's on such a huge spectrum. It doesn't matter where you are or where you're from, but everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter which country you want to invest in. but obviously it's predominantly the UK and our own home, Zimbabwe. So the other issue as well is just to network people from, you know, in different countries, whether in South Africa, you're in Zimbabwe, you're in the UK. Speaking from, I think, a couple of weeks ago, remember, Muzi, we had a query from one of our aunties on the group that she was planning on was it a home or something she wanted to invest in?
Yeah, I
And
think it's actually a hospital that they're looking.
A hospital,
for,
yeah.
Yeah, a big development.
That's right. Yeah. So I think, you know, at the end of that conversation on that night, you know, she managed to get contacts on, you know, people to speak to and how she could invest in Zimbabwe because she was looking for, you know, good substantial amount of money. So that is just one example that epitomizes that, you know, we're just looking across the whole board. It doesn't matter where you're from or where you are. We just bring, you know, all of our Zimbabweans and other nationalities and just create that humongous network, you know, just to make this work. So yeah, just wanted to reiterate on that point as well. Thank you.
Really appreciate that, Brian. Thank you very much for touching on that. And yes, that's exactly what this network is for. And I haven't actually followed up with that lady, but she had actually a few contacts to be able to raise the funds and run the project that she's looking to run, which was a really good project from what she explained last time. So thank you for reminding me on that one. Appreciate it, bro. So is there any other questions from anyone? I'm conscious that we always finish this call around 7 o'clock. Usually runs from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, an hour and a half, but it doesn't have to reach 7 o'clock if we haven't got anything else to discuss. Has anyone else got anything that they want to ask? Because for you guys who are on the call, you've got the privilege to ask these questions. Everyone else who's watching this will be dropping the questions and their comments and reaching out to us afterwards. So you guys can actually get the answers straight away if we have them. So has anyone got any other questions? Okay. I think we might be good. I don't think there's any other questions on the call. I will just quickly say, as usual, thank you very much for joining our call, whether you are here now or you are on or you're on the video. Thank you very much for joining us. It's something that we're really grateful for. Much appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to our channel for more videos of property discussions. We're going to be doing this every Sunday at 5:30 UK time. Bearing in mind, we've changed clocks today, so I think that might be a reason why some of the guys that are out of the country might have missed this call as well. We changed clocks today, or last night rather. So thank you very much, guys. And if no one else has got any other questions, I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening and a really productive week, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, guys. Good night, everyone. Have a good week.
Yes, everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.